Oh my god, it's working. Let's see if I can figure this one out. I want to go into... Where is this? Oh. It helps if I open the window. There you go. And I need to full screen it. So why is the chat not coming up? Oh boy. Okay, now it's coming up. I'm afraid it did not work. YouTube streaming is a mess. Let's see if we can... We are alive! We live! Do you have Easter vacation right now? Or holidays? Oh, where did Spotify go? I think that's okay. I've been messing around with Sparky Linux. It's actually quite good. I have no idea what to do today. I'm just bored. Wait, we could look at DistroWatch and see if there's any interesting distributions to look at. Yep. Oh, EndeavourOS just got an update. MX Linux. Oh, the fonts is awful in this one here by default. What do we have out here? Grada. OpenSUSE, Slackware. Antics could be fun. Light could be fun. Oh my god, Solus has really dropped off the face of the earth. SuperQuap. Void, Q4OS, Poppy. Yeah, Sparky is great, man. Sparky is great. Linux FS or FX, sorry. Poppy. Can you still download CentOS? Nitrox. Rocky Linux. Bluestar. I think it's Rocky Linux I had problem with, or was it Alma that didn't work on the VirtualBox? Artix. Oh my god, Ubuntu's all the way down here. Oh, Magia. Oh, I used to love that distribution. I came here because I wanted to watch your why I don't recommend Ubuntu anymore reaction video. But Audacity is not working properly again. Oh, really? I have not been on Odyssey for... Oh my god, over 6 months? I'm so sorry that they have a problem. I've heard that from a lot of people, to be honest. That's why I stopped. I actually used to watch a lot of videos on Odyssey. But it was a little bit finicky. And I went over to YouTube, and then I heard more and more people having problem with Odyssey, and I was just like, yeah, I just keep it as a backup. Got bad news about my truck. I got to get 2 new tires, change the wheel bearing on both, and get the front line adjusted. Oh my god. What have you run into, man? What have you done? What have you done? Bodhi. ASN. My grip strength from my deadlift is not strong enough. Any advice? Yeah, I have a lot of advice. So you can do a couple of things to increase your grip strength. You can do grip strength exercises. Or you can use straps. A lot of people, when they start to deadlift quite a lot, they go over to straps because they don't have the grip strength. And grip strength is a little bit difficult to train if you are not using your hands every day. So let's say you are a computer scientist or you're an office worker and stuff like that. You need to really do something to your grip strength, because it's small muscles you have in your forearms. You know, they're really, really small muscles. And yes, they are built to grip, but they're not built to grip a lot. You know, they're basically built to hold your own body weight times, let's say 50% or something like that. So there's, if you Google grip strength exercises, there's plenty you can do. Carry dumbbells, or not dumbbells, kettlebells around could be a good one, for example. Just start to carry heavy things in your arms. Use those grip thingamadoosky, what are they called? What are they called? These ones here. Power hand grips. These is also good to use. But again, it depends on how heavy your lift. How heavy your deadlift is. Like if it's twice, 3 times your body weight, 4 times your body weight, you know, you may have to use straps. I used to use straps for back exercises. Because I used to work with my hands screwing a lot, you know, do bolting, ratchets and stuff like that. So my forearms was just shattered every time I went to the gym. So I had to use straps. You also have to look at what is your work, you know, what are you doing on a daily basis? Are you using your hands a lot? That can also mean that when you go to the gym, your hands is already actually tired. So it could be an idea to think about using straps or getting some of these exercises here. Getting a tennis ball and you know, squeeze that a lot could be a good idea. But you have to train it like any other muscle. But at some point, if you're deadlifting a lot, at some point you just can't. Your grip is not strong enough anymore. You have to use straps or some other device to basically help aid your grip. Like I said, your forearm is really small muscles compared to your back, your legs, you know, your biceps, your triceps, and stuff like that. So there's limits to what you can do. So you have to gauge, you know, do you want to invest the time in building up your forearms, or do you just want to use strips? Or hooks, or something like that. And if you keep going up in deadlifts, at some point you need to go and use strips anyway. Or you need to do more reps with lower weight on it. I hope that helped a little bit. It's an old truck, 1997 Ford F-150. Yeah. Okay, RCDs beings are hard to install on a truck. Or bearings are hard to install on a truck, yeah. It's only my second time, so I can lift 70 kilograms for 5 reps. How much do you weigh? What's your body weight? I think this is around your own body weight. So if it's around your own body weight, I will keep at it. 61, so that's quite good to spot in your body weight. Then try to just stick with what you can keep, you know, what you can lift with your natural grip strength, and keep doing that for a little while, so you build up your grip strength before you put more weight on the bar. You can also do it like that. So just take more reps, you know, so you get you know, your grip strength can kind of go along with the weight that you put on. But yeah, at some point, dude, at some point, like if you go up to like 200 kilograms or something like that, you probably need need straps. 150, you probably need straps. Depends on the person, of course. But 70 kilograms, you should be able to keep to hold that in your grip. But again, like I said, either do these kind of things with the vices and stuff like that, or just keep a lower weight on the bar and then just do more reps, so your forearm starts to be developed also. But it all depends if you like the look of Popeye the Sailor Man, you know, you want those big forearms. It's a good thing. A lot of people don't train their forearms. There are plenty of other exercises that you can do. Like this one here is quite good. You know, something like this. But they don't really help that much of on your strength. It's more your forearms. But forearms and grip strength kind of goes a little bit hand in hand. But I will say this is how I would do it. If you want grip strength, grip stuff, you know, you need to hold stuff, because grip strength is how much you can hold. So start to holding heavy things. Popeye is my role model, man. Speaking of trucks, I need to check if my window isn't down. Oh yeah, go do that, man. This can help with your grip strength a little bit, but again, I will go with these kind of things here. Finger trainers and stuff like that. Maybe something like this. Because you have to think about it like, look at your body as a machine. Right now you have like mechanical rods that need to crimple together and hold a thing in them. You know, they have to wrap around an iron bar and hold it in place. So how would you reinforce that? Well, you train that mechanical device to do so. And how do you do that with human bodies? You do more of it. You do heavier. You do, either more exercises or more resistance in your grip. So find something that's hard to, hold and then grip that, or take a, 25 kilogram kettlebell and then walk around with it for a while until you can't hold it anymore. Or take a 10 kilogram kettlebell and just walk around with it until your hands get tired and stuff like that. Welcome back. And then just keep doing that. Or just keep doing deadlifts, but with lower weight on them until your grip can handle it. Or again, use straps. It's all up to you. It's all up to you. I used to train with a guy, he used straps all the fucking time. But when I did my back exercises, the first 3 sets, I didn't use straps. But then like the last 2 where I went really heavy, I used straps. Because I could feel that my fingers was could almost not handle it. But yeah, you can do a lot of things for your grip strength. But I will just keep working on the deadlifts. And if your fingers are the first ones to go, then keep the weight until you can handle that weight, and then you can grip that weight with your fingers, and then put more weight on the bar. On the bar. So you may have stronger legs than you have and back than you have forearms, of course. But then just step back a little bit, and it's also good to step back on your weight, because you kinda get the body used to that weight. You get like a little bit of you give it a little bit of a chance to relax a little bit, to build muscles, to recuperate, and then and while you're doing that, you're working on other parts of your body that may not be that strong. Because a lot of people, let's say they're doing deadlifts, they get really strong backs and legs, but they don't give the other, the joints time to also get strong. So they just go up in weight, up in weight, up in weight, up in weight, and at one point they get so up to so much weight that their joint starts to fucking break, or their small muscle starts to act up, because they didn't took the time to then say, okay, I went up 10 kilograms, let's stay in this weight for a week or a month, so the rest of the body can kind of keep up with it. All the small muscles you also train. Instead of just going up, 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 you can't. Some people call it solidifying the strength. You get all those small developed muscles going also. So you don't get like out of proportional leg and back strength, and then like your joints is not keeping up and stuff like that. I do that a lot with I used to do it a lot with bench press. I just put weight on, weight on, weight on, weight on, weight on. At one point I blew out my shoulder. So I did that I went up in weight, and then when I was at a point where I could like, this is really hard, but I can still do it. I kept doing that until it became really easy. And then I keep growing, put more weight on, more weight on, more weight on, until I'm like, this I can do it, but it's a little bit uncomfortable. And then I keep doing that weight until it became comfortable for me. Because then I got, the joints, they started to grow with my shoulders and my breasts, my man boobs and stuff like that. And you also, what you call it, you reduce injuries by not just pushing weight, by taking, some call it deload if you go a little bit down, or some just stick, like I said, do what I do, they stick with the same weight for like a week or 2 or a month, and then they go up again, to like solidifying the strength, as some people call it. So there's plenty of ways of doing it, and if you do that, let's say you stick with those 70 kilograms for, let's say, a week, 3 weeks, you should, your grip strength will then start to, build up also. I love talking about strength training. I try to stay on one weight until the weight doesn't affect me as much as it did before. Yeah, again, that's actually Russians do that a lot. It's actually a method done in Russia where they got more and more weight on the bar, and then they stayed with that weight for, I think it was like a month or something like that, before they went up again, because they found out that it made them grow faster, it made them stronger faster, and they had less injuries. Because the body kind of got time to get used to a certain weight. Where if you just keep putting weight on all the time, you can potentially, you know, get injuries if you're not also training all of the small muscle groups, the muscles that help you keep your arms stable and in your body stable, you know, joint muscles and all of that shit. Hate the worry. Nobara project is great. Trying the last 2 days, all games running. What is Nobara project? Hey Ruben. Nobara project. I have been to work today, so I am a little bit tired. I do a lot of deadlift, but only wear straps towards the end where my grip starts to fail. Yeah, that's a good idea. So there are some exercises I rarely do, and it's actually the compound exercises. So I rarely do bench press, but I don't do military press, I don't do deadlift, and I don't do squats. Because if you look at what exercises most people get hurt in, it's deadlift, squats, and military press. Because they are really great, but they require that you have an amazing technique. So if you I trained with a guy, and I'm not joking here, I can't remember if it was deadlift or squat. He moved his foot 1 inch to one side and it blew out his knee. He was a little bit tired. He didn't position him. It was his like mid set. Like he was like mid in the set. You know, he still have 2 sets to go, and it was not heavy or anything like that. But he was just not paying attention, and he just moved his foot like an inch, half an inch, and it blew out his knee. It's so easy to get hurt on those exercises. And I'm a little bit against that all those fitness idiots, as I call them, they recommend them all the time. Because it takes a lot of know-how and technique to do them. Oh, no problem, ASN. I love talking about this. It's my other passion besides Linux and gaming and stuff like that. Yeah, I rather, if I do any legs exercises, I do it in machines, especially when you get older. Because deadlifts and squats are really great if you are going to a meet. You know, you're going to compete with it. It's not worth the risks. I think American football don't use deadlifts and squats anymore. There's some massive organization, like a sports organization in the States, that stopped doing it because there were so many people so many of their athletes got hurt by it, and they do it as for a living. You know, they deadlift and squat for a living. But it's up to you. Do what you want. I rarely have had the only exercise injury I have ever had was my deadlift, when I started to go not deadlift, bench press. When I just kept going up in bench press, and I blew out my shoulder. And then I started to do that. I went up in weight, stayed with the weight, went up in weight, and stayed with the weight, and I haven't had problems ever since. Squats and deadlifts, I rarely do them. I haven't done them in 15 years or something like that. I just either use exercises, dumbbells, barbells, and then do other exercises than the deadlift. You know, that's more, you know, that's better for the joints and stuff like that. But especially the older you get, you need to be more wary of what can actually hurt you in the gym, because your joints start to get a little bit weaker and stuff like that. I'll first find a weight that I can do 30 reps and see if I can. Ooh, 30 reps. Are you a bodybuilder or a fitness guy? What is your goal with fitness? Because that sounds way too high. And see if it's getting hard. Once I feels like it feels hard, I try to stay on the weight until it feels easy. Once it feels easy, I go up in weight. You can do that, but if it takes too long to get easy, put more weight on anyway, because you have to trick the body sometimes. Like, if it takes you a month to go up in weight, before it feels easy, just try. Here's what you do. Once a week, you do a max. You just throw fucking weight on to see how much you can lift. Or once every second week, to basically shock your body. And then you figure out a lot of times that you can actually take more than you think you can, because a lot of it is actually psychological. The future of Linux gaming, I heard that before we could write Linux. Yeah. Yeah, I think people are just looking for that one web max and end up wrecking their body. Exactly, they do that a lot. They do that a lot. Just lose some weight and build muscle. So, again, it's been a little while since I've been researching this, but high weight up to 8 to 12 reps is strength training. 12 to 15 is a mix between strength and bodybuilding. Anything over 15-ish reps, now we start to go into endurance training. So it depends on what you want out of your muscle. So when you're doing 30 reps, you're basically doing endurance training. You're doing it. You're doing something to do it for a long time. Yes, you can build muscle and you can build strength. But what you basically are doing with your muscles is that you're telling them to do, take the same weight and lift it over and 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 over again. And that gives you long, agile muscles. So you don't get buffed at that easy. You can do, depending on of course, your DNA have a lot to say, but you don't. It's not the easiest way to build muscle. If you want to build muscles, go heavy and stay within like the 12 to 15 range. Because strength helps you lose weight and gain muscles, heavy weights. And the more muscle mass you build on, like professional bodybuilders, they stay within like the 20 range, 20 reps, and they do like three sets. You can also do it in another way. You can do 5 or 6 sets and then stick with 10 repetitions. So I do, my thing is, when I train, I keep going until I can only take 8 reps with the, when I can't take more than 8 reps, I stop. Or minimum 4 sets. So it depends on how fast I go up in weight or how slow I go up in weight. So let's say the first is like, let's just say 10 kilogram, the next is 15, and I can still take over 10 reps. I always stop at around 12 repetition. I don't go over that. And then the third one is like 20, and I can still do 10-12-ish repetition. 25, now I can only take 8. There, stop. But if I go, let's say 20, and I can take 10, and then I go 25, and I can only take 6, I then just do 3 and more set with 25, to keep the set up. Because the more reps you do, can be detrimental for your goal, depending on what your goal is. But again, some people have DNA where they can just do reps, and keep fucking getting muscles. You kind of have to figure out how your body reacts to it. Last week I did 50 kilograms for 5 sets, first time deadlift. Today I did 7 kilograms, 3 reps, so I should stay with that for a while, right? So your first ever deadlift was 50 kilograms. I will not go up in any weight up. Like, if it was your first set ever, I would have stayed with 50 kilograms for like a week or 2 weeks to get the technique right. Get the footing right, get the get everything right so you don't get hurt. Get the technique right so you don't get hurt. Deadlift and squats, it's more about technique than it's about the kilograms, because with the right technique, the right exercise form, you can actually lift more than if you have bad form. So it's really, really important that you work on your form, where you position your legs, how you go up, how you go down. Are you exploding up, going slow down, or the other way around? And are you twitching a little bit somewhere and stuff like that? Get your form right first, and then go up in weight, because you save yourself getting hurt, and you can actually lift more, because you train all of those small muscles you normally would not be doing. But yeah, I will stick. If you have never worked out before and this is like your first or second time, don't go up in weight until you have your form right, or else you will get hurt. It's so important for newbies at the gym to get the form right. Positioning, range of motion right, and stuff like that. And then you can think about weight, because it's not about the weight when you're at the gym. I have days when I used to go like 6 days a week. I could fucking lift like a fucking crazy animal, okay? And other days I could almost lift nothing. I was tired, I didn't sleep well, I didn't eat well. Maybe I had worked, been really stressed at work and stuff like that. And I could just not lift the same as I could the previous week. So I just took some kilograms off the weight. It's about putting in the work and not about the weight. And you will still get stronger, you will still get bigger, but it's more, you don't get hurt. I hope you can kind of understand what I'm trying to say here. You have to listen to your body. If your body say, you know what, you had a fucking stressful week now, so I don't want you to lift heavy, then you don't lift heavy. Then you work on your form and stuff like that. Not first set 50 kilograms, last set. I've been going 3 months to the gym, used to be scared of deadlifts. Okay, so 3 months into the gym, you should have worked on your form and your technique and stuff like that. So yeah, okay, I thought you were just starting out. But yeah, again, give it a month more. Stick with 70 kilograms for like a week or so. And then figure out how much you can go up. And then once a week or once every second week, you see how much can you actually lift. But do it while you are warm, and make sure you have the right form. That you're not doing the exercise in the wrong way. Like, I'm so, like, I get really passionate about form because it's so important. I'd rather have that you go down to 50 if your form is not right. I'd rather have that it's easy for you and you get your form right first, and then you go up. Because I don't want to see you in 6 months in a fucking wheelchair, or with a casket around your ankles or your knee, because you just went ham. Like, I'm not joking. I did my first deadlift. I have worked out for 5 years before I did my first deadlift. Because I was so not afraid, but I was worried about it. Because I've seen so many people get hurt in deadlifts and squats. And I'm like, you know what? There are all these amazing machines that can give me the same exercise. That will make sure that I can work. That will make sure I don't, fuck shit up. And I only did it because my body I trained with want to do it. And I was not going to go. I was not preparing for any competition, anything like that. We see all these bodybuilders and fitness experts on YouTube and stuff like that, and we have to remember we are not them. Like, we are working out to just get a better average health. So why not use the tools that make sure that you get a safe time at the gym? It may not be as sexy as sitting in a machine as doing it, with the old school way. But it may keep you go doing it for more years than people that do it with the old school way. If you want to know what the number one shoulder injury exercise is, it's overhead press overhead shoulder press. Or the military press, or what you would call something like this here, and they do it with free weights. This one here. The number one reason for shoulder injuries in bodybuilders and fitness people that do free weights is this exercise here, even if they do it right. Because we are not atomically? Aerodynamically, or what it's called. We are not built to do this. Look at your day-to-day work. How often do you do this motion on a daily basis? How often do you take a thing and press it over your head and all the way up to the sky? You rarely do that, if at all. You take things and you drag them to you. You push them away. You put them out to the side. You do the lateral raises, the side raises for your shoulders and stuff like that. But this motion here is something we rarely do, if at all. So that means that our body is not built to do it that often. And you see a lot of bodybuilders from the 70s and 80s. They stopped doing this in the 70s and 80s because a lot of their friends got hurt. So they do lateral raises, front raises and stuff like that, shrugs. This here is a really bad exercise, even in a machine. Even in a fucking machine. It's a bad exercise. This is one of the number one causes for shoulder pains, aches, and injuries in the gym. Yeah, I busted up my shoulder overhead barbell press. It took almost a year to come right. Yeah. So I never do these anymore. I used to do them all the time. Now I just do side raises and front raises and shrugs and stuff like that. Again, if you want to do them, but they are one of the most commonly reasons for shoulder injuries. Sadly enough. Because it is a good exercise. But I have always looked at again, we are not bodybuilders. We are not, strength athletes. We are just normal people trying to get healthy. So when I'm doing something or people are showing me an exercise, I always look at it. That motion, how often do I do that in real life? Is it something I do in real life? Do I do this motion here in real life? How often do I do it? Or is it something that I could see myself do in some situations? And pressing something over your head is something we almost never do. We pull stuff from up far down. We pull stuff down to ourselves from over our head. We push stuff away, that could be a bench press. We drag stuff to us, that could be a back exercise. We take something and then we put it out to the side, that could be a side raise. We take a thing and we put it up on a shelf in front of us, that could be a front raise for the shoulders. We pick something up from the ground, we go down and we go up, that could be either a squat or a deadlift. And if you stick within those motions that you do, normal everyday motions, you have a lesser chance of getting hurt. That's just my philosophy. I could be 100% wrong. But when I see people getting hurt, it's because they're doing stuff that they don't do on an everyday, it's motions that are not common for the human body. Just do baby reps. Give me baby reps. You have also seen that video, yeah. Baby reps. Was it Tom Platz or what the fuck his name is? And again, form overall. Always have good form. If you have good form, you can lift longer, you can lift more, and you will stay healthy more. But yeah, it's a fascinating thing, this working out here. I went to the gym before the lockdowns. I haven't been to the gym after the lockdown, so 2 years almost. I do some home workouts now. My plan is to go get down here and train here in Easter. We have Easter vacation for a week now. But I remember I went in there, and there was like this dad, dad Bob and everything. And he was just down there to get, a little bit healthy, like lamer. And then the instructor was teaching him exercises meant for bodybuilding. Oh, no, don't go too much up there, because now you're starting to train your shoulder and not just this area. I'm like, who cares if he also train his shoulder with that exercise? He's not trying to do bodybuilding, he's just trying to get healthy. And it's not hurting him or giving him an injury. He's just basically training two muscles instead of one. All the exercises that instructor showed him was isolated exercises. And I was like, that's something you do if you're a bodybuilder. That's not something you do if you're a power lifter or a fitness guy or a CrossFit guy or girl. But he was just all about isolated exercises. I was like, they're good, don't get me wrong, but that's not why he's there. Because then you have to do 5-6 exercises just to train your chest. Because now we're taking the lower part, the upper part, and I was just like, and this was like the third time this dude was in the gym. I was just like, he don't need to know that we have 2 muscles in the chest, or, we have like, 3 muscles in our triceps. He just needs one exercise to train all his muscles in his triceps, all his pec muscles, all his biceps muscles. That's just one, but you get what I'm saying here. But people are so... They don't get that we are not bodybuilders, we are not powerlifters, so we should not train like them. Even though this looks fucking mental. It's fucking mental. Look at those people, man. Yeah. They are crazy. I totally forgot this thing here, Dubai. It's a modified version of Fedora Linux with user-friendly fixes added to it. With user-friendly fixes added to it. So it has third-party codec. So it's basically Linux Mint. Oh. YumX DNF provides a front end to... Is there any pictures? Why is there no pictures? I want pictures! I'm a baby, I want pictures. I want a coloring book. I kind of like antics. Yes, overhead shoulder presses is fucking mental, man. Bench presses can also fuck up your shoulders if you're not careful. But yeah, squats and deadlifts, I'm really careful with those, to be honest. I kind of want to see how the CentOS web page is holding out. A lot of people are talking a lot about Nitrux. Or Nitrux. And NixOS. You know what? Let's download Magia and install that. It's been a long time since I looked at that project. I'm just going over here on my host machine and downloading it. I used to be... It's basically Mandrake or Mandriva. A continuation from that. And I used to be a massive Mandriva and Mandrake fan. February 2021, so it's over a year old. Classic install, let's just do that one. 24-bit. Oh, go away. Direct linked.
Opening web page.
Stop! Google Assistant, I said no. Oh. So yeah, that's that. In 3 minutes we can look at Mangia. I will just use the same VM. Just close this down. What Windows version are you on, Lamer? Oh, this one here, I never could do this. Is that Doritos? What the fuck is that? 2 minutes, come on, baby. I used to have these as a kid. My uncle got them to me. He gave them to me. I have no idea what it was. They were just fun to play with. This one is good if you're playing the guitar. Doop 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 doop. Oh, their download servers are really slow though. It's downloading and then it's stopping and then it's downloading. Deadlift. Maximize your grip in deadlift. What is he saying here? Oh. That kind of makes sense. Have you Googled... go on to YouTube. And then do deadlift and bicep tears. You see a lot of people when they're doing deadlift... Or not a lot, but you see people when they're doing deadlift that their bicep rip off the bone. It basically, you know, the bicep muscles basically detach from the skeleton. It looks fucking crazy, man. And a lot of times it gives like a snap. It's really like weird to look at. You know, the bicep here just curls up in a big ball here. It looks fucking weird, man. Hook grip injuries. I've seen a lot of people doing that one and getting blisters and whatnot. I used to have a lot of blisters on my hand. This one here was not uncommon. Oh, it's done. Let's close this VM down. So just take a second. Storage. Yeah, Mangia there. And it should just pick it up automatically. I want my hands to bleed when I lift. It's not... You don't. It's not something you should be striving for. A lot of times it's because people have bad technique. It's because they... yeah, it's not a badge of honor, let me put it that way. It's definitely not a badge of honor. It's stupidity a lot of times. All those things you see where people are bleeding and fainting and shit like that, don't go for that. Is it even fucking working? Oh, it seems like it don't... Oh, it's not playing well. may need to change some settings in here. Sometimes you need to change the graphic card settings on the VirtualBox before some distributions want to work with them. Oh, there you go. There you go. So, choose the language to use. Let's just do English American. I accept. This was how we installed Linux, like in 1990s and 2000s. Please choose your keyboard. I have a Danish keyboard. There you go. Why is it not changing my keyboard? Why is it still saying US keyboard? This is like, why? Oh, well. I don't know if it's worth it. It gives you like an extra security, I guess. I never do it. I have never verified ISO. Ever. The following media have been found and will be used to install. Do you have supplementary installation media? Nope. I've forgotten how crazy these old installer was. So we can do custom, GNOME, Plasma, Mageia, Mandriva, and Mandrake was always a KDE distribution. So let's just do Plasma. And now it's doing its thing. But you should, like, if you ask the experts, they will say, yeah, you should verify your ISO. I will say if you get into a problem, verify it. So if you don't want to install for some reason or, you know, then verify it. If not, I have never had a problem with it. I installed Slackware 15 in a VM. It was fun, but I'm not going back. Yeah, I used to run Slackware as my main desktop in the early 2000s for like 6 months. And then I was just like, nope. This is way too fucking irritating to deal with. It's a fun exercise, and you know, you learn a lot about how Slackware works, especially if you have to go and do dependencies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's the same with Arch, you know. I'm getting too old to the whole fucking being a system administrator, I think. Now I just want things to work. Doop, 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 doop. That was actually quite fast. Host install. Oh, I can't even remember. It's URPM. I think their package manager is. From Mageia. That they have grandfathered in from Mandrake and Mandriva. So we need a root password. They're still doing it the old school way here. I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on my test machines. Always liked Mandrake Dark Tools or Drake Tools from memory. It uses URMPI. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, I like the old Mandrake tools and stuff like that. Choose a monitor. Plug and play. I have no idea why we need to do that. Okay, so time zone. Let's configure this one here. We want to do Wait, where are you? Murica. No, we want the best nation in the world, Europe. Yep. Country and region. Oh, let's just keep that. Oh, I did remember my keyboard. Security level standard, firewall activated. I like that. I have verified Mint for my personal laptop. I think that's the only time I really needed to verify. Again, you should do it. That's the proper way of doing it. You know, the correct way of doing it, but I have never done it. It's only if I was like having problems installing the ISO onto my hard drive, and I'm like, is it my hardware that's problem with, or is the ISO? Oh, I like this one. A little bit of guitar solos here. Dum dum. This is a weird installer. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's really strange. It takes me back to the 90s and early 2000s. Maybe I should have done the live environment instead. Like, this is... It's a really bad installer. In today's world, like, if you showed me this in, like, 1999, 2003, 4, 5, I would be like, yeah, this is amazing. Doopy doopy doop 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 doop. Good old RPM. I do like RPMs. I actually think up till 2010, most of the distributions I ran was RPM based. I think Ubuntu was like the distributions that got me over to Debian. You know, the Debian ways. And it took some years before I was like, yeah, Ubuntu's actually a viable thing. Dum, dum, dum. Was watching some old retro tech talks, if you can call it that, from the 90s and early 2000s on YouTube. And I was watching one from BOS, and it's actually really fun to watch, you know, alternative operating systems going to tech conferences and show off their technology. And then compare it to today. A lot of the things they showed off is like still today is like kinda not done in a lot of instances as they did it back then. Meaning that they are still not totally ahead. But if you show it off today, it will still be making eyebrows, you know, raise. Because it's something that you're like, oh, this is actually quite fun. Or it's actually quite a good feat of technology that they have done. Because back in the late 90s, there was a lot of talk about having 2 CPUs on your computer. And then like 5 or 6 years later, we started to get dual-core computers. Which is basically two CPUs, they're just in one die. So companies like BOS and that made BOS, they foreseen that. You know, they had the foresight to see that. They just used 2 Pentium processors instead of 1 dual core system. And now we have like 16, 18, 24 cores. That's basically the same as having 24 computers. Single core CPUs. Not computers, but single core CPUs. So we're running 5.15. I think Mageia is also updating to the latest kernel all the time. It's kind of like in this semi-rolling release state. Java. Do anyone really use Java anymore? Well, I guess a lot of people do. Or else it would not be installed. Strays. I'm also starting to watch a lot of kits from Knight Rider. People restoring them, building replica cars, and stuff like that. I don't know why I find that massively interesting. I loved Knight Riders when I was a kid. Knight Riders and Airwolf. I watched those all the time. Because when I was off school, I had like 2 to 3 hours to where I basically could just eat and watch some television before I had to go to my part-time job to basically get some fucking money. And Airwolf and Knight Rider was always playing when I got home from school. Yeah, the Hoff. Yeah, I like David Hasselhoff. He's not had a good life, you know. He had some dependencies problems and stuff like that, and I kind of feel a little bit sorry for that. He wanted to be a singer. He didn't want to be an actor, but that's where he got his break, was acting. And I think that you know, was a big burden. That he couldn't make it as a singer, but he could make it as an actor. Come on, boot. Boot, my friend. Boot, my friend. Yeah, he actually, like, he was quite successful in Germany and Scandinavia and a big part of Europe. Looking for Freedom, and I can't remember the other one. He made like a couple of singles. And they were massively popular here in Europe. I'm just hard restarting this here. Yeah, they were quite successful over here. So here we are. Wow. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Oh my god, I just peed myself a little bit there. Media sources. Ah. Oh. It's a little bit sad that this distribution is not being used anymore. Or not that popular. Tainted release. Let's do that. Update. Check for system updates. I'm just trying their introduction tool. Why can't I? Keep. Do I need... Okay, so I... okay. Oh, that's a lot of updates here. Let's see what else we have here. Oh, I can't do anything while I'm in here. Okay, update. I mustn't, maybe it's just me, but I really like the way this is. Like, I'm not going to lie, but I think it's because this was how Mandrake was doing things back in the day. So I am a little bit biased. Everything was installed correctly. That's okay, my friend. Okay, so we have the Magia Control Center here. So we can install, remove software, update. We can configure some hardware in here. Snapshots, that must be for the BTIFS file system if you have that enabled. Samba, NFS. Do some disk management, some security. Like good old Leboot. Some install software, RAM DAC, DNF Dragoa. Applications. So this is like the tainted verse. This is like if you want proprietary, what you call it, being able to play proprietary codecs. Are you acting up here? This is not working. They have a really nifty tool here for network monitoring. Unique tool. The same with configure network. This is also from the good old Mandrake days. I do like this system, I'm not going to lie. But I think it's because it takes me a little bit back to the Mandriva Mandrake days. Like Mandrake was like Ubuntu before Ubuntu to some extent. I kind of like that they're not... Well, there are a lot of bloat in here, but it's not as bad as I've seen it in other distributions. So let's go into the control center. Where is it? Is it? It's not under development. Where? Oh, it's down here. There you go. Browse and configure hardware. Let's just do software management. Packages with GUI. So let's see if Steam is in here. Yep, because you need to enable. You used to have to enable the 32-bit libraries to get this installed. Yeah, you still need to do that. So they are not totally good with their like it's not that user friendly, I think you would call it. So we need to go in here and we need to configure media sources and we need to enable 32-bit. 32-bit. It's a big mess with these repos here. I'm not going to lie. It's crazy. It's a little bit crazy. But we need to enable all those 32 bits. Was that enough? No refresh or anything? Okay, it's doing it in here. So if we do Steam now, and then you have to look over here to now make sure you pick the right architecture. That's also, yeah, now a lot of dependencies is coming. And now it's working. They should just have a pop-up that says that to install this, we need to enable these and these 32-bit libraries, or repositories do want us to do that for you, and you should just have been clicking yes, basically. Oh, I get like this like Asian feel here. Oh, what are we? So we have Steam. I just want to reboot. Just to make sure that the updates are in effect. Dum 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 dum. There you go, buddy. It is fast-ish. What is this? Oh, that's the updater, right? Check for updates. Yeah, that must be the updater. So we have Steam in here. I like my KDE though. Let's see if we have a terminal. We have 5.15. So if we enable the backport repositories, I think we should get 5.17 or 16, maybe. I actually used to run this, like when it was called Mandriva, on and dual boot into it. Oh, really? Mandrake was the first distro you used as a full-time desktop. Interesting. I am actually thinking about downloading, an older version of Mandrake from like either the mid 2000s or early 2000s and install it in a virtual machine and look at it. Because the installer, yes, it looks dated and stuff like that, but the automatically hardware detection and how it guided the use and stuff like that is to some extent like if you just modernized the installer a little bit, made it a little bit more pretty to look at, would still be a good installer to this day. So we have Steam up and running. It's an okay distribution, to be honest. It's just a little bit sad that they are going under the radar to be honest. Oh, they actually have security trackers up here about us. Good old download. Ooh, this is bad. Like, they need to release we need to figure out when the new release is coming out then, because August this year, this version of Mantia is not going to be supported anymore. That's not good. Hey, Spin Viking. Yeah, happy early Easter to you too, man. I hope you're doing well. Magia 8 will remain supported until 3 months after Magia 9, so they definitely need to get their bots out of into gear, sorry. Why is there no oh, here you go. Block, planet, form, application database. What's that? Calendar. Wow, this is like really old. They're not really updating this much anymore. You know what? Let's just I don't know if that's how you spell it. Seven days ago, Vigi. Repositories. Yeah, come on. I want to know when if they are okay. So they're doing something with the scheduler in 5.16. Plasma. Yeah, but when it's coming out. I want to see when it's coming out. Oh, they have DNF installed. Do they have DNF? He was on the phone. Are you talking to your Russian mail order pride again? Like, you're not that ugly that you have to pay a girl to talk to you. You know that? Oh yeah, we have DNF in here. Wow. Oh. Oh crap. Keep forgetting I do it the old-fashioned way. Wow, we do have... Wow, I didn't know that. Interesting. Interesting. All my hopping and testing will be in VMs from now till April 25 when the support ends for the host OS. What is your host OS? If I can be so irritating to ask. Well, I called this ad and told me that a hot single near my area was trying to talk to me. Yeah, I've seen those ads also. That this really, really beautiful local Danish girl really wants to talk to me in English. For some reason. For some reason. Like, is it already released? Oh, work in project. Magia 9 is not released yet. Okay, gotcha. Oh, council meeting, Q&A, team meeting. So they are really transparent with what's going on. I kind of like that. Yeah, they have council meetings, Q&A meetings. I like this. Kubuntu 2204 on my HP and Sorian 16 Lite on my Acer. Nice. I like Kubuntu. I will say that Kubuntu is probably my favorite version of Ubuntu. At the moment, I could change my mind later on, of course. My distro hopping days are over. I got Windows or WinBlows installed and VirtualBox installed. If I wanted my Linux kick, I boot into a VM instead of installing it to my system. I even got the Windows Subsystem for Linux installed going to give that a go. I hear a lot of people liking Windows Subsystem for Linux. And now you can run GUI apps in it and you can run desktop environments with sound. Which is really crazy. It's amazing, but it's crazy. I could install GNOME on Windows. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. Let's see if we can install Chrome. It's probably already in repos, but I kind of want to see how it is doing it this way here. How did you get... what VM are you using for Windows 11? Because VirtualBox don't support TPM. Oh yeah, they have this kind of installer here. Let's try and see if that works. Windows will be strictly in my VM. I still get malware too easy. I don't do that. Why? It's a little bit... Oh, you use the bypass method. Yeah, I don't do that. I'm afraid that an update will fuck that up. Is it installed? It must be installed, apparently. Nope. No. Oh, there it is. I don't know what, but it just... If they could just iron out a small kinks here and there and promote their system a little bit better, it's not a bad system. Like, there are distributions out there that are way worse than this one here. And they have a lot of unique things to them. You know, the control center, the package manager. Google, I didn't... Oh, my Google Assistant is going mental today. I do have a snapshot set up for a fresh install. I'm not planning to update the VM since it's for testing purposes. Configure system security permissions and audit. Oh! Periodic checks, so we can actually security audit our system. Let's try that. This is really cool. This is actually really cool. I totally forgot about this. Neat. Let's try and run these security checks here. Check daily, last one never. Run now. It could take a considerable time to finish. Yeah, whatever. I can talk for a long time. Well, periodic check was executed successfully. Why is it then saying never? What the fuck? Let's try this one here. The weekly one. So it's doing... I think this is what it's doing. It's doing like a basic test daily, a better test weekly, and an even more in-depth test monthly, I guess. Netbook, file server, web server, secure, audit daily. Oh, so it's different. Oh, okay. So you... Okay. Now it makes sense. You need to change what... You know... what is it called? Profile. And depending on the profile, it would run one of these. Either daily, weekly, monthly, or manually. And we have 55 rules in the firewall. Huh. Right now I got a third-party open source firewall that will notify me what's going on, going in and out the network, and block MS tracking collection. Windows finally have always on top. That's the big thing I miss on Linux. Don't Linux have always on top? I'm sure KDE and GNOME. I don't know about GNOME, but I'm sure KDE has like a way of doing that. Yeah, keep above others and keep below others. So this is always on top, basically, under KDE. What is this MSEC? Is this like a MSECE was the MSECE, right? Oh, MCES. Oh, for fuck's sake, let's try again. Yeah, of course. Linux, I guess. Whoop. Oh, PowerTools have it. Hey, low spec. Yeah, I'm sure that. Oh, it's Mantriva security package. So they have their own security suite. I forget how much extra tools Mantriva and Mandrake did to Linux. Kind of like in the same nature of what SUSE is doing. OpenSUSE. And SUSE, of course. Checking for rootkits. Ooh. Interesting. Wait, you can enable IP spoofing protection. That's like... Wow. Corntap. Allow for bit autolog. Whoa, this is actually really extensive. Check user files, check shadow. Enable checking for empty passwords. Cool. Where the fuck is the scroll bar? Like, is it the theme or... Oh, there you go. There it was. Root mask. Huh. Allow for bit system reboot and shutdown to local users. I'm sure you can do this in any Linux distribution. Yeah, this is actually really, really interesting. So do they have some form of GitHub page or something like that? Now I'm curious. I want to know everything about you. Are you my mail order pride? This page was originally written on Mantriva Wiki. Yeah, I think that's what they're going for. Interesting. Okay, so Git. Yeah, interesting. YouTube video sharing company. There's some pretty girls on the front page. Just want to see if I can actually play YouTube videos. There's English Bob. There he is. Yep. They're playing. They are playing Rust map. Linux is as good as Windows at gaming. Yeah. Let's smoke some crack, everyone, and believe that. Star Wars. I used to be really into the Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like a couple of years ago, I was subscribed. I actually played it when it came out for like a year or so. Then I took a break, and then when it became free to play, I subbed to it. And I played it for like 2 years, something like that, and then I never really used it anymore. Why is Ubuntu not a universal desktop OS? I don't know. So far, favorite browser is Vivaldi. I do like Vivaldi. I still use Chrome the most though. Just because I do use a lot of... she's kind of beautiful. I do use a lot of Google services, and it just seems to work best with Chrome. But my second most used is Vivaldi. I use that as my Twitter email client and Google Docs and not Google Docs, Google Calendar. I always have a tab with Google Calendar open and Gmail open on Vivaldi. But yeah, I do like Vivaldi. Oh, Lamer, I saw you. Oh my god, he looks like someone that's going to eat us all. There you are. Let's see what kind of wisdom you don't have that you're trying to share with people. Well, you see that Google is their search engine. And as their homepage, when Mozilla claims to be private, knowing Google isn't private friendly. Also, Gecko is the only non-cinnamon based browser that's... I used to use Vivaldi for like 2 years or something like that. Only use Vivaldi. I do like it. There are just some small things that Chrome do better for what I do, so I just keep that. I always keep those two running on my main system. What kind of version of oh. Oh, it's an old version. It's 5.20. Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about. Yeah, it makes sense. Firefox is going downhill fast, man. They are starting to become really predatorial. Or predatorial. I think it's the word I'm looking for. Again, I am tired, I'm sorry. It's been a fucking crazy day at work. But I do have... I don't have to work until Wednesday next week. Because we have Easter vacations over here. So tomorrow is going to be... who the fuck is this? Oh, why can't I click here? Bean? This makes no sense whatsoever. Why? I think I know that. No, I don't know this person. But we are on, we are on your YouTube channel. Language Jam, French. I love looking at what subscriptions other people are subscribed to. It's really funny. Boogie. Oh my god, please don't follow Boogie. Like, if you really want to be abused by another person, of course you can follow Boogie. Jennifer. Links. Oh, that's some guitar guard, apparently. Captain Joe. Okay, well, yeah. That's Rich Piana. Rip in peace, by the way. Oh, Nixie does Linux. He started to do Linux content again. Is he still on YouTube? Who's on YouTube? Who is on YouTube? Oh, Boogie. Boogie is both YouTube and live streaming still. But he's a... I used to be subscribed to him also. I will admit that. But he's a fucking... He's a mental case, man. He has so many issues. He should not be online. Yeah, Book. Yeah, he need help. Like I'm. It's the like he really do need help. Why can't I find you, Lamer? Where's the filters? There you go. Channels. Yeah, I remember what we were talking about. EB asked why Firefox is still a thing, and I told EB that Google's trying to get Firefox. Oh yeah, the monopoly thing. Yeah, we had talked about that. Yeah. Oh, from the lamer to programmer. Oh, lamer, you're also a girl. Lamer Games podcast. You're all over the place, dude. Lamer. Oh, you're also a furry. And you're a gamer. Why are you like? And you're a little girl. We all knew that, by the way, but yeah. Lamer vamp. You have many personalities, I see. Oh. The Lamer gamer. You're also doing Pilates or something like that. Oh. The Lamer Gamers. There's a couple of channels here. The Lamer Gamer. Interesting. The Lamer Linux. Oh, there you are. The 5 things that taught me the most about Linux. Tomorrow I'm going to release a reaction video to one of his videos. It is almost an hour long, but I really recommend you guys watch it because I am losing it. Like I'm getting like I'm not getting angry, but I'm about to drop everything and walk away from the video. I'm not even joking, and a couple of times I'm really frustrated. It's really entertaining to watch because he has really lost it. I don't know what the fuck. I hope he's a troll. But my name used to be the Lamer Gamer, but saw another channel with the name, so I decided to change it since I haven't posted a gaming video. Yeah, it's so hard to find an original name anymore. This is like 10 months ago, 9 months ago, 4 weeks ago. Lamer, you're not that bad looking as a girl, I have to say. The Lamer Gamers podcast. Will it be lame? Wait, is that you? No. Oh my god, they're as bad as live streaming as I am. Oh yeah, there's some yoga going in it here, man. I think about changing my name from Lamer back to my Cody thinking that'd be better name. I don't do what you want, I guess. Like, you're really good at doing yoga, it looks like. Where is this girl from? Like, you got some moves here, my friend. It looks really boring, though. I don't know why. Like, I get yoga is really good for your body and stuff like that. Tim Hansen. That's a Danish name. But people know my internet name more than my actual name. Yeah, that's... Holy shit, he has... Wow. He's a million sub. Who are you? Cool. It's a really Danish name, though. Or Scandinavian name. Yeah, that's a problem you get if you live a lot of your life online. People start to, you know, call you by your online handle instead of your real name. Why? Oh my god, did I... The thing I wanted to do didn't... I totally forgot about... There you go. Channels. Let's see who Lamer is subscribed to so we can see what kind of person he is. Subscriptions. He's already stalking beautiful girls online. And PewDiePie. Justin Moore, and he's stalking handsome guys online. Sudo Reboot. Is he still doing shit? Hey Joseph, how are you, man? You also like... Or you'll also like... Matthew Moore. I heard that. I know that dude. I can't remember him right now. Computer Clan. I am subscribed to those also. The truth about manifesting your dreams. Lamer? Is this your fabbing material or what's going on here? He's a country singer. The reason why you procrastinate. Oh my god. Is this like one of those life coaches that have no fucking... The only qualities they have is that they became popular because they are hot. And now they think they can change the world. The same with that thing like the law of attraction or what, the secret. Like it's the biggest fucking bullshit in the whole fucking world. And I have friends that believe in the secret. That have watched the secret on Netflix. And they're like, I put this thing out in the universe and now I got Netflix for free by a follower on Instagram. And I'm like, yeah, don't you think they gave that to you because you just posted a bikini picture? It's not because you manifested good things out into the universe. It's because you have a sexy body, you have a lot of male followers, you just posted a picture of you in bikini. They want to get your attention. And you talked about you need a Netflix subscription. Of course, it's because you're putting positivity out in the universe. Not because there's a lot of horny guys on the internet. I updated the theme on my MX Linux external SSD. Looking better now. I was running it all day yesterday. That's amazing, Joseph. Okay, let me explain. Years ago, I was doing bad in college, so I was trying to improve it. Saw her and I like her videos, and she was cute, so why not? Yeah, it's your fabbing material. Gotcha. It's your fabbing material. Yeah. You are really depressed. She's a young girl. You needed some relaxing. She got you some positive messages into your head while you had a bone on. And we all know how it went from there. Yeah, but she's one of those fake life coaches, apparently it looks like. She's one of those people that never had to work for anything in her life, it looks like. Like, nothing against that, but don't think you're now a guru about fucking self-improvement and positivity and stuff like that. She looks like she has not had to fight for anything in her life. I kind of don't like when people like that, and then like that will become your new guru. No, you're a beautiful person that got everything handed to you. She gave me good... Here's the thing. Common sense it sounds like good tips because you already know it. If I told you, get out of bed today, get shit done, you'll feel much better. Kent, you are fucking smart. It's common sense. They are selling you what you already know. That's the thing. That's why I don't like these life coaches and stuff like that. They are preying on people that are desperate. Black Lives Matters, and then she's quiet. Oh my god, an attention-seeking. Yeah, okay. Try researching what you're actually supporting. What the fuck was it? Black Lives Matters has been taken over by white people or something like that. You know, like the majority of the leaders in Black Lives Matters are done by white people. It's a little bit scary to think about. I think that, I don't quote me on this, but I read it somewhere. I can't remember it right now, but research what you're promoting, my friend. Oh my god. My shoe collection. Can I work out like a model and survive? I'm getting too old for this fucking shit. I'm not like... What I wore to school this week. Are people really watching this? Yeah, apparently they are, but... What I got for Christmas, and she's licking a fucking whatever that is. Songs you need to hear, December 2008. Oh my god. No, you didn't forget, man. Self-care day. There's a lot of time to go to work. Yeah, have a great work day. There sadly is a lot of lonely people in this world, and she must give them some form of connection and normality and stuff like that. Oh, meet the boyfriend. This here, a lot of people just got heartbroken with this video. Oh my god. I don't get these channels. I understand on an intellectual level why they are successful, and it makes me sad. It actually does. Boyfriend, no! Yeah, exactly. Like, it really makes me sad because they are tapping into a market of people that probably don't have the best life. Because if you think about it, who cares about her favorite songs? You know, like, who cares about her outfit? Who cares about her makeup routine? Who cares? But it gives you like a friend, you know. You feel connected to them and stuff like that. So I get that. But then go from that and then to like say, oh, I know how to motivate people and shit. Like, there's a documentary about motivation. I can't fucking remember what it's called. But it's really interesting. And it basically says that motivation don't work. The longest you can stay motivated is like 14 days. Then the motivation starts to decline. So the first week you are really productive and really motivated. The second week it's like, yeah, and then after that most people just stop going back to normal habits. She is beautiful. I will give you that, but I am sure, 1000% sure, if she was a fat girl that didn't shower that much or had bad skin, she would not be this popular. And I'm okay with that if she knows that. The thing is that a lot of these kind of content creators here, they think they became popular because of their intellect or their content. No, they became popular because they are a beautiful person. And again, I'm okay with that if they just fucking know that. Instead of trying to become a fucking life coach or something like that. Oh my god, I'm going to stop that. Pseudo Reboot. Who is Pseudo Reboot subscribing to? Good old Percent Arms here. Taylor Tech. I thought he would have more subscribers by now. Andrian Linux Tracks. Old Tech Bloke. Running with Dolphins. Spacehorn, or who, or whatever the fuck that is. Rob Collins. DJ Polo eller et eller andet. Something. Is he still deleting all his live streams? I used to watch them pre-recorded. So Percent Arms did a video. Oh, he's also live streaming now. Why am I should be subscribed to. Why? A rebuttal about using CLI in Windows. Yeah, I like running with dolphins. I do like running with dolphins. It comes after I saw this. Terminal is needed to use Linux. I will agree that at some point during your Linux life, you are going into the command line. At some point. I like Q4OS. I don't know what it is about Chris Tiles Tech, but he just rubs me the wrong way. Like, I don't mind him that much, to be honest. He's a cool cat, you know. He does what he does. But there's just something about him. I don't know what it is. Tyler Tech. Is he not doing anything? Oh, he's still uploading. I just thought he would have more subscribers by now. But maybe it's because he's locked into doing distribution reviews. It's only like a fine amount of people that are interested in that. I do really like Q4OS. Oh, it's the that Gentoo-based distribution guy, Calculate Linux. English Bob had him on a live stream with Sergey at one time. Yeah, I like the Trinity desktop. It's a good, you know, way of going back to KDE when KDE was. It's still good, but when KDE was different. Emergency button. I kind of want to go into get into hardware and stuff like that again. Matthew Moore, why? I know this dude. But I can't fucking remember from where. I've been watching a lot of videos about, from, is it Dan Wood? Oh, Dan Wood, yeah. This dude here lately again. About the Amigas and stuff like that. He's a cool dude, man. I like his videos. I used to watch him a lot like 2-3 years ago. But I'm getting back into his content again. If you're into retro computing and stuff like that. MX Linux it apparently gives you the option to upgrade to the Linux 5.15 as well as 5.16. I choose the 5.15. Most people should actually go with the LTS version. The LTS kernel, to be honest. It just gives you a better long-term experience. It only updates once a year. You get security fixes in the meantime. And it's basically like it also. I think they also backport the hardware capabilities into it. We're also looking a lot at Amiga OS 4.1. I used to be a massive Amiga guy. I used to love Amiga, man. This dude here is actually really interesting. TJ Fariri or whatever his name is. Watch some of his videos lately. He's a fun he's a fun dude. I like him. I need to watch some more of his videos. But he also runs Mac OS, Linux, Windows, Amiga OS. He was also a BOS guy back in the day, like I was apparently. I do fucking miss BOS. More Debian-based distros will give you the options to upgrade to 5.15. Yeah, you can always backport it in from the testing repository, though. Or the backports. But I do agree with you. So, at least the kernel Debian needs to be more up to date with. Yeah, I like this dude. He's interesting, in a good way. Not in a bad way, of course, but in a good way. Sinclair, Spectrum, Amiga. I love Amiga. It has driver issues on 5.10. Oh. Oh, Joseph, I totally forgot that. Sparky Linux. If you get Sparky Linux, they have ZenMod kernel in their repos. So you're basically getting Debian with a lot of extras on the Sparky Linux, and you get the options to get newer kernel under the stable release. So you're running Debian stable with newer kernel and the ZenMod kernel. They already have it in their repository. So if you download their stable, it's basically Debian stable with their addentation to it. If you download the semi-rolling, it's Debian testing. But I really recommend that you try it out. I looked at it here the other day. Their testing version or semi-rolling version, and they have a really extensive repository where they have the ZenMod kernel, VirtualBox, all of the things that don't come standard with the Debian that a lot of people want. They have that in their repos. I also look at Sparky Linux XFC. Yeah, I will definitely look at that. Plus they have their own control center, extra tools and stuff like that. But yeah, well, I was looking around their repositories the other day, and I saw that they had the ZenMod kernel in there. Yeah, they have a ton of desktop environments you can install with the Welcome app. Yeah, they have. And the Aptus, or what it's called, their easy package manager is actually quite useful. I was debating. I was actually debating about installing it on my separate hard drive, because it looks like I like that it's based on the Debian, and then they have, the added repos. They're actually doing what I want to do with Debian for a long time. What the fuck was it I was looking? Oh, BOS. Oh, it actually helps if I'm activated in the search field. Let's try this again here. Ah, good old BOS. Good old BOS. Hey, my video. I need to do another video about Haiku or BOS. Oh, this is 3 months old. Isn't Storm OS by what's his name? Fitzgerald, something like that. What is he? So he's in EB streams a lot. Oh, what is his name? I can't remember his name. He's also talking to Esnik. Ben. Yeah, Ben. You're right, Ben. Good old Ben. I have friends, apparently. Systems with JT. Yeah, Ben, yeah. Ooh, I think it would. Spin Viking, I think it would. K-Work Manager. Why is there no operating system anymore we can get excited about? Take a look at how's a Haskell-based OS. He's looking at a lot of alternative operating systems. I just installed Pop OS on my MacBook Pro alongside the app Mac OS. Now that I think about it, XFCE is the best DE for arts, not KDE. I will not say it's the best. I actually do prefer KDE on arts over XFCE. I just don't like XFCE that much anymore. It's starting to feel a little bit outdated. I actually been thinking about taking XFCE and then build a lot of tools to it that I wish it had. You know, a proof of concept kind of tool that they don't specifically have to work, but you can interact with them. You know, click buttons and stuff like that. And then showcase that a little bit. I've been thinking about do that to make it look a little look and function a little bit more modern. But it takes a lot of time, and I don't think there would be a market for it, meaning that there will not be a viewer base for it. I can always get excited about OpenSUSE, but OpenSUSE don't really do like Linux don't really do anything. Of course we're getting a newer kernel that has more software, and you know it does better RAM support, and it's a little bit more efficient here and there, and we get newer desktop or updated desktop environment and stuff like that. But nobody's really doing anything way different, or doing anything that's like where we say, wow, this is fucking amazing. Now it's just like, yeah, we're getting an updated version of KDE with a lot of extra features. But it's not like, wow, Yeah, we're getting new Linux kernel with a little bit, neat features that the corporate world really love, Yeah, GNOME is adding this little accent colors into the system or something like that. Oh yeah, Ubuntu's coming out with a new release where a little bit up-to-date icons, a little bit more up-to-date GNOME and stuff like that. But it's not like where you say, wow, this is actually fucking amazing. Synergy OS, not really, no. Not really. Like when BOS came out, it was focused on multimedia and multi-core or multi-processor systems. No other operating system was that at the time. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about. Something that revolutionized the computing world. Or tried to do it anyway. Linux has just been doing the same thing since 2000, more or less. The same with Windows and Mac OS. They just keep doing the same thing over and over again. In the 90s, we had BOS, we had SkyOS, we had OS2 Warp. We had a lot of systems where you could be like, say, wow. Linux has matured and become boring, I guess. It's not that it's become boring. It is that it's become boring, but it's that all the wow things about Linux is for the enterprise. Different way of doing servers, different way of doing SQL searches and stuff like that, and optimizing for that. That if you were a system administrator, you would be, wow, this is actually neat. But for everything else, it's a little bit just like, meh. Like when BOS came out, multitasking, preemptive multitasking and stuff like that, Windows didn't have it, Linux didn't have it, Mac OS didn't have it, and it took Windows a couple of years to catch up, the same with Mac OS, and it took Linux almost a decade to catch up. the BFS, the BOS file system, is still more advanced than BTRFS FS nowadays, and that's like one of the most advanced Linux file systems we have. Yes, BTRFS has some technologies that B file system didn't have, like the snapshots, but that's the only thing. Again, it took Linux and still take Linux a lot of... there's still areas that Linux and Windows still haven't caught up with, like SkyOS and BOS did in the 90s. You know, you got like... You had this wow factor when you saw, you like, this is mental that they can do this. You know, you would when you saw demos about BOS in the late 90s, like, how the fuck do they do that? You know, you were like, what the fuck is going on here? No other operating system can do that. Multitasking, more than one core or one CPU in your system, like, this is fucking mental. And then 5 years later, dual cores came out or something like that. 5-6 years later. Maybe even more. But we need something to get excited about. We need hype. I think... no, I don't think... I know Linux need hype. What is Ubuntu doing every time they are releasing a new version of Ubuntu? Nothing. They're sending out a release note. Yay! DistroWatt is putting it on the front page. Yay! What is Windows doing when a new release is coming out? What is Apple doing? Like, they are hyping the living shit out of it. You know, they are getting people excited. They are, look at this new and neat thing that we just made for you guys that can do this thing that you have asked for, or that is doing this amazing new thing. We don't have any of that in Linux. And if people don't get hyped, they don't want to use it. They get bleh. We need something to hype out. I don't know how to do it. Because there's nothing to be excited about. Gentoo is not boring. Well, Gentoo is technical. So yeah, it's not boring, but it's just technical. And a lot of people don't want technical. Ubuntu seems to be getting more uploaded, especially with every distribution nowadays are getting more uploaded. Like... Arch Linux, I was surprised. Like, I was actually surprised to know that Arch Linux is almost 1 gigabyte. Like, the ISO for Arch Linux is almost 1 gigabyte. That's mental when you think about what you get with it. Arch Linux nowadays is bigger than Ubuntu was maybe 10 years ago. Everything is getting bloated, man. And I think it's because they want to bundle as much as possible. Not to talk about the kernel is getting more and more, you know, it's getting bigger. Because everything is in the kernel. Every driver and stuff like that. It's yeah, especially under Linux, the cool things are happening on the enterprise world, yeah. I think if you bundle... Well, we can look at Easy Archer, we can see, because Estic is using XFCE under Easy Archer. And he's not bundling any extra software with it. So we can see how it's 2.1 gigabyte. Okay, we have Calamaris in there. And LibreOffice, I think. I can't remember it. No, we don't even think we have LibreOffice. But that's like almost as minimum as you can get with XFCE on the Arch. That's big, dude. That's big. Like what are we running of resources here? 1.5 gigabytes. Not using that much CPU though. If we go over here, okay, now it's spiked a little. Yeah, we're not using much CPU though. Around 10% on all cores, overall cores. But yeah, Linux is starting to get bloated, man. You can still control what software you're running in Ubuntu. The spins allow you more control of this, but you can control get to know Somatic and yeah, you're right, Spin Viking. You can make XFCE look amazing, like you really can. I will not disprove that or dispute that at all. You can really make XFCE look amazing. Like most desktop environments, you can get to look amazing, to be honest. This is actually a really good video. Using Haiku as a daily driver in 2021. Like if you go in, if we Google XFCE4, like you can make it look amazing. Oh, there's a pretty girl there. We have to click on that one. Yeah, I think I watched that one. Yeah, I don't know, like, what we can do to make Linux exciting again. But it kinda, like, it is kinda a little bit what it is, you know. We are taking, and we have to remember this, we are taking a industrial tool and trying to fit it into a consumer product to some extent, or function on a consumer level by tweaking it, modifying it, and all of these things. And it is doable. We are just not doing it good enough as a community, as a distribution makers and whatnot. I'm kinda like thinking this, that open source is great as applications, but it's not good for as an operating system. Because then we get Linux, we get fragmentation, people arguing over all kind of fucking things and stuff like that. But, you know, LibreOffice, like, I love LibreOffice, I love Blender, I love Kdenlive, and it makes so much sense that they open source and I love it, but on an operating system level, I think it would be more easy and more better for Linux if it was one distribution or one entity, you know, and you can only do that by closing it down to some extent. I think that's where the strength of open source is in the application market, and not so much the operating system. Again, in the video tomorrow, I will talk about that. In DistroTube's world, proprietary operating systems don't have open source software, and I mentioned a lot of projects that were started out on Windows and made for Windows a long time before they came to Linux. And I have used them. I used a lot of open source projects on my Windows and under Windows in years ago. If you add several widgets, desktop effects, and dock to KDE, it can become heavier than GNOME. Yeah, of course it can. Yeah, of course it can. Because they all, taking up memory. and CPU cycles. Like you are fatting it up a little bit. You're giving it some cake and some Cheetos and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm getting this. I had this feeling the last couple of years, and I don't know if it's just me because I've been around Linux so long, but ever since 2010, things started to slow down with Linux. And now I have this feeling that this is as good as it gets. This is it. This is it. From now on, we're just getting a little bit better desktop environment, a little bit better kernel, a little bit better this, and a little bit better that. But this is it. We're not getting massive more market share. We're not getting massive more support from the rest of the world. This is it. And I don't think that I could like Linux when it's just this. Because after 2, 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how much time you spend on Linux, it gets boring. You see all the cracks. You see all the downfalls of it. And you get back to Windows. I made a poll. This is actually really, really interesting. Let's look at it. I actually think I will make a video about it. But again, this is only people that watch my stuff, of course, you know. But if you go into my community tab here, or do I have to? Oh, I have to. So, how long have you been using Linux? 0 to 5 years is massively more represented. 5 to 10, 10 to 15, and over 15, they're kind of the same within like 2 or 3, what you call it, percentage between them. You know, like the difference with 1 or 2 percentage. But this up here is massive. More than this one here. And I always had this feeling that most people don't stick with Linux for more than 5 to 10 years. Because then they start to get knowledgeable enough about Linux that they start to know Linux. And they actually start to see the shortcomings, the pitfalls, and a lot of people not willing to sacrifice that. And then they go back to Windows or Mac OS or whatever it is. Some go over to FreeBSD. But again, this is just people that follow me, know me, and people that get exposed by YouTube exposing it to them. And it's only 200 and something votes. But it's still interesting to think about that. And Linux has been around for 30 something years. And I will not be surprised if the most people that are using Linux nowadays have not used it for more than 5 years. And it has been like that forever. Because we can't keep people using it. You know, when you get out of the honeymoon phase, you know, the excitement wears off, you know. You start to live with it. You start to figure out that when a new mouse comes out, a new keyboard comes out, you have to wait if at all it's going to be supported with all the bells and whistles under Linux. When a new graphic card comes, you have to wait a month or two before you get somewhat the same performances under Windows. Sometimes we have to wait a half year to a year before we get the same performances as under Windows. Software and games take a little bit of a while before they work the same under Linux as under Windows, if they even do that at all. And a lot of people, they don't want to wait when they see everyone else having a great old time on, you know, with all these new things that they can use on their computer that we can under Linux. And that's just a part of it, of course. There's other issues. And it's just interesting to me. It's a little bit like the nice fence, you know, with the nice garden. I'm selling you this house and really newly painted and shit like that. And then you move into it and, oh, there's some cracks over there. And, oh, there's a running pipe over there. But it's okay. Don't take long to fix it. I'm okay with doing a little bit of handiwork myself. And then the more you fix the pipe, and then, oh my god, now this pipe is broken. And, oh, now we have to fix this. And then, it's not that bad. I've already fixed one pipe, fixing 2 pipes, it's not that bad. And then you just always go around fixing something. But it's a really cool, neat, fucking amazing, beautiful house. When you look from the outside in. And then the neighbors get a television, and you're like, oh my god, I need to now rewire everything to get this television functioning in my house because I don't have the right, let's say, electrical system. So we have to wait for someone to do that, or I have to do it myself, and it takes like a couple of weeks. Or, oh my god, they just got central heating. Oh, I have to reinstall all of that, or wait for someone to do it for me, and it could take weeks or months. There's always something to do, and we are always behind. And I think that's one of the reasons why people start to leave Linux after a while. They get tired of tinkering, basically. For no reward. Yes, it's an open source system, you own the system, but is it that much worth for you that you do that over that go to Windows or Mac OS where you don't have to become a system administrator or tinker or be as much worried about an update breaking shit and stuff like that? I don't know. It's probably a mix between all kind of fucking things. Ooh, I like this one here. I used to hate dark themes. I really did. But I'm starting, like, the last couple of years I've been really digging them. They are also better for your eyes and your monitor. It takes less, you use less, what is it called? Yeah, energy, of course, but it's light. I think it's the best way I can describe it right now. When all these things here means that your light, or your brighter your screen is, the more light it emits, the more power it has to use to retain this. So therefore, it's more taxing, on the electrical bill and for your eyes and all that fucking shit. Where dark themes can actually save you a minute fine amount of energy. Like, we're not talking about $100 a month on the electrical bill, but look at your phone. If you go from a white theme to a dark theme, you can actually save battery life. The same on your watch if you have a smartwatch. If you go from a watch face with a lot of colors and brightness on it, and you go over to a dark theme, you save a massive amount of battery life. Because dark colors is inactive on the screen. It's like this black up here basically means stuff is turned off. The emissions of colors is turned off. Where the bright ones here means that something, they need to turn stuff off to display it. It's like really simplified, but you get what I'm saying here. It looks pretty though. Is this just the stock theme or it's absolute? Ooh. Ooh. Maybe I should install Ubuntu or something like that and mess around with XFCE a little bit again. I haven't messed around with XFCE for a couple of months now. Other than, no, I don't even think I have any. I have GNOME, KDE, and Cinnamon. That's the desktops I have on my VMs right now. Yeah, I don't think I have any VMs with where I'm booting into XFCE. I may have it installed, but I'm not using it. Or maybe I should use XFCE a little bit again, because I do like using it. Don't get me wrong, I do like XFCE. It's just, it's not. There's nothing to get excited about. That's kind of my spiel. I want to be excited. I want to get hyped. I remember watching the Windows 11 release, fucking whatever they're calling it, event. And I'm like, I fucking wish that Linux would do that. I wish Linux would have like a release event. Or like just a conference or something like that once a year where distribution makers could come and show, like kind of like CES or CESC or CES or what it's called, Consumer Electronics Show. But for Linux, where people could come and get excited about new Linux things and new distributions and Ubuntu and GNOME and KDE and Manjaro, and they could have like a little place there. They could showcase their new technologies they're working on and get people excited and stuff like that. But I don't think we have enough people to do it. Like, how many Linux users would go to, let's say, Anaheim for a Linux Expo? Like, it would make sense for the corporate world. But for desktop users, maybe if you put them together, you had like a Linux Expo, and then a big part of it, of course, was for the corporate world, but then there was like a little, 25% of it was for us nerds, geeks. So most of it was being paid for by the corporate world. But I don't know if Linux is big enough that you can do something like that. I use XFCE on the Zorin Lite 16. A lightweight host for the VM frees up more RAM for the VM. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The lighter your base OS or your host OS is, the more RAM you can allocate to your VM. But I will never go over 50% of your RAM. So if you have 4 gigs of RAM, don't go over 2 gigs for a VM. Or under any operating system. Because then you can start to get into problems. I've seen it myself. Even though theoretically this system should be running on 4 gigs of RAM. But for some reasons, if you have a VM running and you're going over 50% of your RAM, total RAM, sometimes shit happens, man. I don't know what it is, but I've seen it myself. More than once, sadly enough. Like, I would not want virtual machines on anything under 8 gigs of RAM. I just wouldn't. Because nowadays, you need 4 gigs of RAM for Linux, Windows, I don't care, 4 gigs of RAM. You get the best experience. 4 gigs of RAM and 4 cores. That's like then you get a really, really good experience. Can you run it on lower require like 2 cores, 2 gigs of RAM, 2 cores, 8 gigs of RAM? Of course you can. But nowadays 4 cores and 4 gigs of RAM is in VMs are like almost like it's close to the minimum you should be running any OS, especially Linux or Windows. Your host at idle can run with 2 gigs of RAM if it's lightweight like that. Yeah, but it's hard to explain, but it's kind of like you're having a massive program running, one of those programs that eat up RAM. And operating systems don't like that. And that's what VM machines does. They are RAM hogs. They eat up RAM and CPUs. And some operating systems, both Linux and Windows, sometimes can be a little bit like, you're going over 50. That's also why there's that warning on VirtualBox that if you go over 50%, you go into the red area. That's because they have tested it themselves. And they're like, okay, if you go over 50%, your host can act up. And it will act up at some point. And again, I've seen it myself. Healthcare in America. Why the fuck is Chris Titus Tech talking about that? I don't know how I feel about stuff like that. I don't mind seeing the personal side of a content creator, But if it gets too personal, I'm a little bit like, do I really need to know that? We don't know each other. You're not my friend. You get what I'm saying? It's just a dude on the internet giving me content. I feel it's a little bit like pity, you know, they're looking for pity. Like, we all have fucking shit to deal with. Yeah, 6 gigs of RAM on would be like the bare minimum to start running VMs. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Firefox dying is terrible for the web. No, it's not. Like, in a lot of instances, Firefox is actually worse than Google is. I don't know what the fuck happens to the Linux experiment. He's lost it a little bit, I feel like. I used to really, really dig his channel. Oh, the Ukrainian president is on 60 Minutes. Is he not massively corrupt, though? Oh, this Rammstein video, Zigzag, is really funny. It's almost there. Or here. Yeah, get your vitamin Ds, man. Or vitamin D. Oh, the 8-bit guy, he's also cool. A day in the life of a game development. There's a lot of those day in the life videos nowadays, I feel. Oh, DTV have done a haiku video. Cool. 5 mistakes Windows users make. Well, looks like I'm going to ditch Endeavor with KDE ISO image writer. AUR is no longer working. Had to install Mintstick AUR to write. Yeah, I honestly. Well, we might as well talk about it. Can a non-developer create his own GTK app? It's really easy. Yeah, of course he can. Haskell and Python. Yeah, it's not that difficult, to be honest. Especially if you just copy a script and use that. Yeah, I really despise the AUR. And I have to explain myself a little bit here because it sounds worse than it is. I don't dislike the AUR. I just dislike how easy it is for people to put shit up there. And the only way to validate it is that you have to go into the package maintainer or the package site and look at what people are commenting about the software. So if, let's say you want to install, what is it called, ISO image writer, you have to then click on the package and then see what other people are saying about it on their website. There's no easy way for you to gauge it during the install or anything like that there are problems with it. And that's what I mean about the AUR is good in theory, but they need some way to make it easier for us to gauge. Is this a good thing, a bad thing? Are there security problems? Are there bugs? Do people have issues with it or something like that? Because it's so easy for people to put shit up there. Have a plugin so you filter out any packages that's done and maintained by, let's say, what are they called? Non-trusted developers. So they are just filtering out any packages from non-trusted developers. You know, stuff like that should be in there. Because it's a wild west. when I was really into art, there were often times where the AUI, oh, this is outdated, this is outdated, this is outdated, and been outdated for months before someone fixed it. And when you looked at it, it was because there was a massive security risk in that package. And it just kept being there for weeks and months before someone got their fingers out of their ass and doing it. The quality, at least under like the official repositories, on any distribution, there is somewhat quality control going into it. You know, they are testing it to some extent, they are packaging it and stuff like that. The AUI is just based on scripts. And they may test it on their machine, but that don't mean that it works on Joseph's machine. And that's what I don't like about it. There needs to be some form of curation in it. And there needs to be some form of a way where you can get only the stable versions, meaning that if it's done by a non-trusted developer or something like that, or if enough users have deemed it as a bad package, that you're getting notified about it. So again, if Joseph is installing ISO image writer, well, 10, 15 people, 100 people have gone onto the website and gave it a thumbs down or something like that because it's not working. The package meant to say that there is a growing concern about this package. Do you really want to install it? Or something like that. I don't know if you can do that. I honestly don't know if you can do that. But it's what makes me not like the AUR that much. I like the idea of it. It's a great idea. It just needs some way of not sucking. And it's not the AUR sucking. It's the people that are throwing a script out there that barely know how to do it. And then Joseph is the guy that has to deal with it. Or I am the guy that has to deal with it. And then we have to go and be like, hey, fix your shit, you know. And then sometimes they fix it and sometimes they don't. It's just a bad practice if you think about it. I'm afraid of watching this here because I will get pissed. But it is easy, you just, like, make simple programs with GTK is easy. It's when you start to go into the more technical aspects of GTK, then the documentation just fall apart. But if you just want to make small, simple programs, it's massively easy. Too many issues with current distro during the last 2 weeks. I have reached the breaking point. I'm switching to Debian base. I have enough. That's one thing you can say about Debian. Yeah, it may be old packages. They may not have everything in the software repositories that you need, but you can be sure that it fucking works and it's stable. And they are really focused on security. I read somewhere that most security experts that run Linux run Debian. I find Debian spins still have difficult connecting with Wi-Fi. It can be done. It takes some extra work and downloads. Yeah, and it's because of the driver issues and licensing issues with Debian. Debian does it a little bit in the same way that Fedora does, that they want to keep it as free and open source in the base system as possible. And that then, again, that's why I don't really like this whole philosophy of open source and stuff like that, but then it makes it harder for you as a consumer. Because now you have to go out of your way to just get something to fucking work and use it. Because of a philosophy. Like, it's... Why make life more difficult for the end user just because you don't agree with a license in a package? If there's nothing wrong with that package, if it don't infringe on any copyrights, on any GPL rights or anything like that, it's just that it's under a license you don't agree with. Why not just have it easily available for everyone to use? Then maybe put a pop-up and say, hey, this is not a free and open source software program. Or there are aspects of this program that don't follow the free and open source guidelines. Why make it difficult for you to use it? That's what I don't get about this whole thing with free and open source and versus the other things. Like, that's kind of what Ubuntu do. You know, they have their repositories that reflect on that. Repositories for tainted, or that's also how they do it in here. You know, they have tainted and they have non-tainted repositories. Just keep it like that. But have them all enabled by default. Wow, does he really have Gurada Linux in his top 5 ARS distributions? I really, really can't wait for you guys to watch my video tomorrow, where I react to DistroTube. It can go two ways. Either it will be the death of my channel, or people will have a laugh about it. No more tiny Windows managers. Yeah, but if you like it, run it. Finally, the perfect premium Linux experience. Custom Spotify. Material U... what? Material UKD Plasma. Is that the... Yeah, he's a KDE developer, this dude down here. I need to follow him. I keep forgetting to do that. What makes the Cinnamon desktop environment so great? Jeremy's Tech Channel. Windows Optimizer. Yeah, Linux desktops insist on destroying themselves. I kind of agree with that. Oh, RISC-OS. Just watched a video about RISC-OS. It's a cute little thing. I do like that more people are starting to make people aware that Linux is not perfect for everything. Like 5 years ago, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, that was definitely not the case. Deepin. I always find Deepin really interesting, to be honest. Using Linux on Windows. Oh, this one here should Lamer should watch that one. Cybersecurity is hard. Common sense is hard. The world's most powerful laptop. Oh, that's 4 years ago. That's probably like garbage right now. Crazy moments in women's football. Yeah. There's probably some crazy shit going on there. I gave Pokemon a setup makeover. Oh, she's a fucking bitch, man. I just can't stand her. Yeah, I do like Deepin. I think it's a really interesting subject. Like, one thing I noticed is that anything that's coming out from China seems to fucking be great nowadays. Like, they really are good at doing UI and UX design, you know, user experience and user interfaces. And They are doing a lot of great fucking stuff. It's just this whole thing with how much fingers do the government have in it. I know they are saying that, oh, they are not under government control and stuff like that, but they are living in a country that's basically run by a dictator to some extent. Like, they are being censored left, right, and center, and human rights are being violated and what have you not. And it just makes a lot of people a little bit worried that we don't really know what's going on. You know, Huawei got banned in the States because of that. That they were listening and taking data from people. That's illegal. How much do we actually know about Deepin that they do it? How many have looked at every aspect of the source code? I don't think anyone have. And this dude here is a KDE developer, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. I don't like that theme. He actually has some great videos, this dude here. The Gnome Hut. Oh, I almost ditched my Ubuntu for Fedora. Why? Because it's so fashionable to hate Ubuntu. I'm almost just wanted to make Ubuntu videos just to piss those people off. Because most of the time, the reasons why they hate Ubuntu, it's a first world problem. It's something that really don't matter. Like, does it really matter that snap packages takes like 10 seconds longer than any one other package at the first boot or first time you open them? Is it really that important that you have to wait 5-10 seconds longer for Firefox to open up the first time you open it? It's a first world problem. I get it's an inconvenience, but let's be honest, it's a first world problem. Jeremy's tech channel. Have I heard about him? Let's talk about distro hopping. Why we move from one to another distribution. Yeah. It's the human condition. Oh, he's done good for himself. He's only been here for 3 weeks. He's already at 188 subscribers. It took me fucking months to get to 100 subscribers. Oh yeah, well, this makes sense. He's a newcomer to Linux. How to install DaVinci Resolve on Arch. It's actually really easy because DaVinci Resolve is in the AUR. That's kind of one of the reasons why I used Arch for a long time. Because I knew DaVinci Resolve was in there. 3 things I love about Linux. What about the things you hate about Linux? My problem with Microsoft. I think we all have problems with Microsoft. Even Windows fanboys have problems with Microsoft. Oh, he's going all to go rather Linux. Like, in 3 weeks, he's jumping. Like, Arch, EndeavourOS, Linux Mint Deepin. I think he's just looking at it. Pop OS. Why XFC is so great? It is great. It's just not for me right now. Now Cinnamon is great. Now Gnome is great. Now KDE is great. And Gravatar Linux, he's looking at that. He's looking at Debian. Debian 11. Oh shit, open source phones. PureOS. First look at warm Windows Manager. What the fuck is that? Have I missed that totally? Hey buddy. What is this? Don't tell me they are also making their own Windows Manager. I'm going mental now. Worm is a tiny dynamic tag-based Windows Manager. Screenshots on the wiki. Looks like i3. This YouTube will get a fucking boner on for this one here. It looks pretty, but how useful is it? Like how useful? Do we even have snapping here? Yeah, we do have snapping. Boing. I can live in a tiny Windows Manager also. Oh, sorry. There you go. I'm living in a tiny Windows Manager. Who wants to live like this? 24/7. Oh, it's not resizing as under Windows. So under Windows, it remembers the previous state of the window when you drag it out of tiling mode. So you don't have to resize it again. Codec 12. I wish I could make my own desktop environment. I really wish I had that skill. What should it be written in? Because Cinnamon is... they're using a lot of Python. It's running quite well though. And I think XFCE is C++ and GNOME is Vala, their own C++ like development language. And KDE is C++ with Qt of course on top of it. Either C or C++, I can't remember it. I think it's C++. With of course some Java and Python mixed in. But you have to build a display manager. Or you could use Kwin or Modder or something like that. Canonical owes me, yeah. Yeah, I do like Kubuntu. I always really like Kubuntu. Kubuntu's always been one of the most stable KDE environments under Linux I have experienced. If that makes any fucking sense, I can't speak anymore apparently. But yeah, OpenSUSE, Arch, Debian, Kubuntu, they always had great KDE experiences. And if you are a Snap hater and stuff like that, Kubuntu don't have Snap pre-installed either. Which is, to some people, is a plus, and to some it's not, and to some they don't really care. Like me, I don't care that much. I honestly don't care what they're using for as universal package formats if it just works. It's just how it is. Like, of course, Ubuntu is going to push their package format. They have an incentive to do so. They develop it. You know, like. Was it in the video about the Linux experiment where I I couldn't stop laughing when he said that Ubuntu was forcing snaps onto us, and he couldn't understand why they didn't went with flat packages. Well, they invented snap packages. Of course, they are going to promote it. It's like taking Ford promoting a GM car. You know, like it's just don't make sense. VMP Discord library for D based on D sound or Discord, DS-Cord or Discord, Discord or whatever the fuck it's called. I'm starting to think about this whole desktop environment thing now. Because I kind of like what LXQT and DE is doing. I just don't think that they're doing it with enough flair. You mean that it looks awful, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. A cute fish, maybe. What about cute fish? Cute fish. Oh yeah, their website is always so fucking slow. Come on, buddy. Maybe I should just have opened it in a... Oh, there's another one. What is it called? Blockchain. Oh, that's an ad. There's a lot of ads on this fucking site. Go away. Website hosting is dead. Yeah, ad my ass. Global menu. Make dep. MPR. Yeah, close. They are really liking their ads, man. MakeDeb is a packaging tool for Debian, and Ubuntu-based system aims to be simple and easy to use while still remain just as powerful as standard Debian tooling. Interesting. Interesting. Release types. App repository. Docker, introduction. Installing packages. Uploading. Oh, they're using a package build. So this is like the AUR for Debian? Yeah, I think it is. Docs. Yeah, I think this is about it for me today, peeps. I'm getting really tired now. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, and be prepared for a crazy video tomorrow. I'm going full-blown mental nutcase in a video. So yeah, see you all later. Have an amazing Easter. And go do something fun. Bye-bye.